It's a beer taste test in this video. Good. That's what you clicked on. Good. This one's going to be a bit of a variety hour. Sometimes there's a theme to these beer taste tests that we do on this channel every so often, but this one's got a bit of a mishmash from a few different beers from various different places. They weren't even all tried at the same time this time. Normally I do that, but this time it's all over the place. Now that you know that, let's just go into trying beers. This one is 5.6%. in a big boy can. I don't know what it's called or what the brewery's called. I'm just going to read all the words that are on it. Viking Brugghus. I think it's Viking Brewery then. Sidan. 1939. Viking Giltur. Islensker Urvals. Lagabjord. I got given this from a friend, and I think it's from Iceland. The country, Iceland. Not the shop in England where they sell frozen food. I quite like that. It tastes like what we would call a special brew, but not very much. So often you might get a special brew version of something like a Carlsberg, and it'll essentially just be a really strong version of something you might be used to already. They typically have a lot more alcohol taste to them, and along with that, kind of a bit more bitter in nature. That's the kind of flavour profile, but it's got the flavour intensity more so of a lager. So it ends up tasting more like a modified lager, which is reasonably interesting. The way the bitter comes through makes the bitter a lot nicer to drink for someone who isn't that into bitter as well. That's a solid beer. I'm going to give it a 7.7 out of 10. Next beer. My brother's here. Ignore him. He literally is not contributing anything to this video. He just happens to be here. Hey. The next one is Match Brewery Baseline American Pale Ale. I don't know when I got this. It was in my fridge. That's hit me, that has. It's 5%, that's why it tastes strong. It's very nice. I like it a lot. Less fruity on the taste than it smells, and I think that's a good thing, because the fruity scent is a bit much fruity. The fruity flavour is subtle, it's nice. You get hoppiness as the main thing, but again, not too much of it. This is a really solid beer. It's not anything dramatic, it's not anything massively unique, but it really does nail the American Pale Ale flavour, and I think that's a really good beer. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. That's really, really solid. If you love golden ales, American pale ales, any sort of pale ale, anything golden, any sort of ale-y flavour that's not too bitter, Match Brewery's Baseline, that's a real good one.
We've got Samuel Smith from Old Brewery Tadcaster, pure brewed organic lager.
It's 5%. This is a
strong?
proper old school old man's beer.
I would say from my
many years of experience
that doesn't have much knowledge about beer, I would say it's a slightly heavier lager than some that I've had. Not too much fizz. I must say I've not had a bad beer from this brewery yet, and I've only had 2.
I wouldn't say it's fruity at all. I know what you mean by a heavier lager, because when standard lagers is things like Budweiser, that's a lot lighter than this, but a bit more flavour than a Budweiser or something like that, and the flavour is nicer. You can tell it's in the same category, if that makes sense. So you can tell it's a lager, but it's definitely got more to it. A bit more flavour, a bit nicer flavours, but they're all very classic flavours as well. I would give that a solid, straight up 8 out of 10. This one's one I've been wanting to try for a while. We actually saw this when we were in Belgium. I think it's a Belgian beer. It's called Delirium. This comes in a very interesting, clay pot style bottle. It's a Belgian strong beer. Got an elephant on the front. Family brewery in Hurre. It's in 1654. That's what it says on the bottle. It's 8.5%. That's really strong for a beer. I didn't realise that. I know it says Belgian strong beer on it, but I didn't expect it to be 8.5%. Foil wrapped cap and everything. This is fancy stuff. Whoa! That'll rustle your jimmies. Holy moly. Whoa! Oh, it's good though. Wow, that's an experience. I'm going in again. Yikes. Oh! keeps going. I would say that has no right being as good as it is for how, like, strong it is. A lot of the time, beers that are that strong just, like, dominate with how strong they are and how powerful the alcohol taste is and the flavour, but that's got some nice flavours to it. Hard to describe because they're not particularly like fruity or citrusy or like hoppy, for example. It's flavours I couldn't particularly name. If you like a lot of flavour and you want some interesting, different beery flavour, that's one worth trying. I'm going to give that one 6.9. Nice. So next we've got a little 3-beer series within the video. These come from a selection box from the Captain's Bottle Shop in Canterbury. This one. The Jolly Sailor, nautical but nice. Follow this beer and the next 2 beers are all from that box, so shout out to them. This first one is Shepherd Neame? Can you see how it's spelt? I don't know what that means, but it's called Master Brew. It's the original Kentish ale. Been brewing since 1698. Sounds very esteemed. It's 4%. Let's give it a go. Oh, weird, but nice. This is going to sound really strange, but it's got a little bit of flavour of olive oil to it. Tastes like olives. That's so weird. Almost tastes like when you get the Italian bread and have olive and balsamic vinegar. It's still got some beery notes to it as well. That sounds like it'd be really gross, but it's honestly really quite nice. So surprised I like that, but I don't like it hugely, but I do really like it. I'm going to give that a 6.1. Now we have a beer from Faversham Steam Brewery. Are all the beers steamed? Probably not. Whitstable Bay Pale Ale, refreshingly light with lively citrus aromas. Let's see if that's true. It's 4%. This is one of those beers that smells like marijuana when you open it. Tastes good. Goes down easy. There's maybe a little bit of a metallic aftertaste, but the initial flavour's a burst of hops. Overall, solid beer. Could drink a lot of that. I'd give that a 7.1. More beer? Yes! This next one is one I believe I've tried before. It is a Kentish ale with substance and character. The Bottle of Britain. It's called Spitfire. It's an amber ale, and I think it's from Shepherd Neame. This is quite nice. This is a type of beer I think a lot of people could like. It's got quite of like a burnt, bitter front, and then in the back it's got something kind of sweeter to lighten that up for you, like a raisiny kind of ish taste. There's other beers I prefer over this, but it is very nice. We'll give it a 6.4 out of 10. Great artist Michelangelo once said, "Drink up your beer, motherfucker." No, he didn't. Double hopped IPA, twice tangled, from, I believe this is Badger Brewery, Dorset Brewers, 5.2%. Whoa, very fruity smell. Yeah, initially you get some fruitiness, but it mostly tastes like soap. No. Oh, it's like drinking soap. It's like drinking soap. Ugh. Oh, it's gross. Oh, 1 out of 10. Gross. I just gotta say that this has won the World Beer Awards United Kingdom Bronze. Don't know if you can see that, but it's there. What? Why? Butcombe Brewing Co. Adam Henson's Rare Breed Pale Ale. It's 4.2%. It says it's Bristol born. Oh, that smells horrid. It smells like poo. It smells pooey. It smells gross. It smells like poo. It smells like a porta potty. Oh, that's gross. It tastes okay. It's ironic that Butcombe Brewing Co. has a beer that smells like poo. The flavour disappears quite quickly in your mouth. It's kind of like bitter flavours that aren't too bitter. That's a confusing description, but that's the best I can think of. Overall, it's not my favourite, but it's really not awful. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.9. Hard to describe and smells like poo. That's what I'd say. 9-hop Kent Pale Ale, brewed by Westerham Brewery in Westerham, which is in Kent. Apparently, this was specifically brewed for Marks and Spencer's, which is a store in the UK. Can you tell from the bottle cap? 4%. I wouldn't necessarily say this smells like feces like the last one, but ugh, it smells bad. Ugh. Oh, really weird taste. It almost tastes like beer mixed with some spaghetti bolognese. What is going on with these beer flavours in this video? But it's not as good as the olive oil tasting one. It does still taste mostly like beer, but it does taste partially like spaghetti bolognese. I'm going to give that a 5. It's pretty average. It balances out the nice beery taste with the spaghetti bolognese taste in the interest of it. It balances out around average, I would say. Thank you for watching this beer taste test variety 10 minutes. Please check out the links in the description. There's all sorts of interesting stuff there. There's a podcast with my brother. We're both alcoholics, so I'm sure you'll like it. Oh, God. And there's all sorts of other series and everything on this channel, so you can subscribe, as well as liking this video if you enjoyed it. Now, crack open a cold one, folks, and I don't know, watch more videos, something.